How's it going, everybody? I just wanted to make this video to finally showcase the new gaming rig. Well, here it is. As you can see, I decided to go with the Thermaltake Level 10 GT black case. Awesome looking case. My girlfriend actually really pushed me to get this case. I was actually going to originally go with the Lee mid-tower, but instead she convinced me to get the new Thermaltake Level 10 GT, which was actually $130 cheaper than the Lee case I was looking at. Comparatively, I would say that the Lee is probably better build quality overall, using aluminum as opposed to plastic and steel, which this case is made of. But as far as features go and overall design aimed towards performance, I would definitely give the Thermaltake case the win in that category. So without further ado, I'll go over the case. As far as specs, up front you have 4 USB ports, 2.0 of course, including a mic in and a headphones out port. I also have a Blu-ray drive that I actually pulled out of an old Alienware case I had lying around. I didn't really think to buy a new one because I really don't use optical drive for anything nowadays. Just use it for the Windows install. But yep, that's that. And up top we have a fan LED button, which controls the front and side LED fans, and I'll show you that in a second, as well as an integrated fan controller, which is also connected to the same front and side LED fans. We have USB 3.0 ports and an external serial ATA port, all up top. So I'll go ahead and very quick change the lights for you. Using the fan LED button, we have blue, green, red. This one kind of changes through them all, so is this one, just a different pattern. Then of course you have off. I like to leave it on blue because I have all blue, so that's just kind of my color. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the side of the case. There's the side LED fan. You also have control of the airflow of this fan. Little knob over here, or not knob, but lever. Direct airflow. Really good for high performance video cards. Comes in handy. Kind of get some fresh air in there. Go ahead and open it up. Just gotta prop this or else it's gonna try to close itself. I have a flashlight here so we can see inside the computer. And as you can see, I went with a Corsair H100 closed loop liquid cooler. I know a lot of people, say this isn't real liquid cooling, but it works quite well. I'm using the standard Corsair 120mm fans that came with it. Runs very quiet, keeps the processor nice and cool just where I want it. So all in all, very happy with that purchase. I went with a total of 16 gigs of G.Skill DDR3, clocked at 2400 megahertz. I believe these are the Ripjaw Zs. Also kind of match with the blue sticker on the side. Don't really care about that, but it does match. Everything goes blue. And as far as video card, I went with EVGA GeForce GTX 670 Superclock Plus Edition. This is the 4GB model. Came with a cool little EVGA backplate. Adds a nice touch to the video card. That's that. And as far as the motherboard is concerned, I went with the Asus P8Z77V Deluxe. So far, absolutely love this motherboard. Just full of cool features such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, of course USB 3.0, serial ATA 3, as well as PCI Express 3.0. Though that's not really relevant with this video card, but it is kind of cool to have, just because. I decided to go with a Corsair HX850 modular power supply. Definitely helps with cable management to have a modular power supply, so highly recommended for anybody that's running or deciding to build a computer. I definitely go with the modular power supply. I always have, and absolutely love them. Would never build another computer without them. As far as hard drives are concerned, this case does have little hot swap hard drive setup so I could plug them in on the fly. I have two 240 gig solid state SATA 3 6 gigabit drives, both OCZ Vertex 3s, which are actually relatively inexpensive compared to many other SSDs, and they work great. Can't complain. I also have two 1 terabyte Western Digital 7200 RPM hard drives for mass media storage and backup. So can't really live without those. Those 240 gigs just is not enough. I've got a cool little side panel over here, as you can see inside the computer. Currently the processor's clocked at 4.4 gigahertz at 1.13 volts. So I actually have it, set using the offset minus 0.05 volts. So, I idle it actually with Intel Speed Step and C1E Halt State and all the other power saving features enabled. It idles around 1600 megahertz and jumps up to 4.4 gigahertz when it needs extra power. And could idle as low as, 0.9 volts. So, very, very happy with it. Stays nice and cool and performs very, very well. Alright, moving on. We'll go ahead and look at some of the accessories I have with the computer. We'll go ahead and start with the mouse. I went with the Razer Naga Epic. It's the MMO mouse. Absolutely love it. Very comfortable, easy to use, and the 12 macro keys on the side definitely come in handy when playing games such as MMOs or basically any game that you need to use the numbers with. It's kind of nice to just be able to use them right on my thumb. Also has two more buttons on the top over here. I don't know if you can see that. You should be able to. And the scroll wheel also acts as another mouse button. And just go ahead and take this side piece off. There we go. Now the side piece comes off. It comes with several different style side pieces, so you could pick the one that suits your play style and your hand shape. So this one just works for me. It's a bigger one, so I seem to like it so far. Also, you could install a battery, which I have lost mine, but there's a separate dock. This cable comes off, and the mouse becomes wireless. Though I don't really care for wireless, since I don't really move my mouse around too much. On the wire is just fine, no battery, no problem. Okay, moving on to the keyboard. I also went with another Razer product. Everything also lights up blue LEDs, so that seems to fit the build. This is the Razer Black Widow Ultimate mechanical gaming keyboard. Really cool keyboard, very nice. Not really much to say about this one. Does have some programmable macro keys that I don't really use much, but that's about it. And here I have my gaming pad. It's the Razer Nostromo. I use that over the keyboard most of the time. It has all these programmable keys, different profiles, so you can set that up using Razer's Synapse 2.0 program. And this button kind of acts as the spacebar key, generally for jumping, or joystick, the scroll wheel. Kind of cool, just have my left hand over that, mouse takes the right hand, push the keyboard back, and have at it. As for the monitor, I went with the Dell 30-inch U3011. It's an IPS monitor. It has 2560 by 1600 resolution. A lot of different inputs on this thing. There's a card reader here on the side. Several other USBs. You have two DVI inputs as well as DisplayPort. I think multiple HDMI. All sorts of different inputs. This monitor is just amazing. It is pretty expensive, but I don't regret it one bit. Just an awesome monitor. 60 Hz, so not really targeted towards gamers, but I use it to play games all the time, and honestly I will never ever go to a different screen. I absolutely love this thing. Maybe in the future when they release a 120 Hz model, of the 30-inch 2560 by 1600 screens, I will probably go for that, but right now I'm very content with this monitor. And here's the idle temperature, which is relatively decent. And that's that. That's my new setup. As you can see, so far I like it. And I will be making more videos, just reviewing some of the parts that you've seen in here. Maybe run some benchmarks on the video card. And I got a few new games as well that I want to test out. I got The Witcher 2, Guild Wars 2, as well as Battlefield 3, and a few other games which I plan on doing some YouTube reviews for. So if you like this video or have any questions, please leave a comment, and feel free to subscribe as well. I'll be making plenty of videos in the future, so hope you enjoyed it, and well, that's about it. Peace.